This is the story of three smart boys, Pat, Fynn and me. This is a real story, but the names have been changed to protect people's identity. We're all the same age, we all went to the same high school, but our success in life has been vastly different. Two of these boys were successful in the traditional sense of the word. One wasn't. I think you can guess who. In this video, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. What went wrong in my life? Here's the three of us, Pat, Fynn and me. I was half thinking of using our yearbook photos, but I probably would have gotten into trouble if I did. I'll tell you why in a minute. Let's make a comparison table. All three of us were quite smart. We all did very well at school. We all got good grades and we often fought to see who could get the best grades. When it came to personality, Pat was a natural leader. He was extroverted, he was outgoing and well liked. Although he wasn't the best at sport, he was often chosen as team captain. He was good at leading a team and inspired confidence in others. Both Fynn and I were both introverts, although I would say that I was more introverted than Fynn. When it came to getting along with others, or our ability to cooperate and obey rules, etc., both Pat and Fynn scored highly. They did what they were told, they knew what they should do, and the teachers loved them for it. This was my downfall. I often spoke out against others if I disagreed with them. I often spoke out against unjust rules at school. It didn't matter if it was a teacher or a fellow student. I made my view known. Teachers didn't like it, but I guess they put up with me because I always did well in their classes. Most students just ignored me. They certainly didn't want to be my friend. As adults, we all got married and had kids. Despite my introversion, I was still able to meet someone and settle down, so to speak. That doesn't mean I'm easy to live with. I still disagree with my wife and children quite a lot, although we've all found a way to bear my occasional outbursts. When it comes to career, what do you think we all became? Well, Pat became a politician. He's a currently serving politician in Australia for the Liberal Party, so if you're Australian, you probably know him, or at least have heard of him. That's why I said before that I won't be using our yearbook photos. I don't want to get on the news or get sued or whatever. A note to international viewers, the Liberal Party of Australia is the Conservative Party, not the opposite. Historically, conservatism was used as a disparaging term in Australia, and so people on the right called themselves Liberals. Fynn went on to work in high finance. I won't tell you his job title because if I did, you could possibly work out who he is. There's just not that many of his profession in Australia. He lives in a mansion and is very wealthy. Myself, I have a crappy YouTube channel. Is that a career? If you've watched my channel for any extended period of time, you'll know that I've done many different jobs. I've worked in the police, I've worked as an English teacher overseas, I've worked as a computer programmer, and I was good at all those things. However, this was my downfall. Because I am unwilling to go along, I often fail at what I do. It doesn't matter how skillful I am, if I don't have the ability to comply with directions and orders, I get into trouble. And that's happened on this YouTube channel. I go against what I should do and have suffered because of it. I pissed off YouTube. I pissed off half my viewership because I don't like going along with society. But I've always been like that. I've always known that I've been the odd one out. I try not to be, but it just doesn't work because that's just not in my nature. I'm naturally rebellious and I honestly do not know why. Pat the politician, even though he's a member of the Liberal Party, he still has to go along. He still has to comply with his party's rules and regulations. He has to agree with what they agree with, and if he doesn't, well, he probably loses his job. Same goes for Fynn. He might be in charge of billions of dollars, but that doesn't mean he can do whatever he wants to. He has to do everything exactly as expected. Me, on the other hand, have done the opposite. I've questioned people and have suffered because of it. If you're a young person watching this video, especially if you're in Australia, I would recommend you follow what Pat and Fynn did. They did what was expected of them. They followed orders and didn't question their bosses or teachers or leaders, and they did well in life. Sure, there are some people in the world who were kind of like me and went on to become very successful, but usually that rebelliousness can't be maintained for very long. Take Mark Zuckerberg, for example. Perhaps he used to be a bit of a rebel when he first created Facebook, dropping out of university, wearing jeans and a t-shirt to business meetings, but now he's just like everybody else and doing what society expects. He now has to censor himself. He now has to censor others. He has to follow the narrative, whatever that narrative may be. He has to wear suits. He has to do exactly what his superiors expect of him, or else he gets into trouble. Anyway, going back to my story. So, were we successful in the traditional sense of the word? Well, Pat the politician, yes, he was successful. He is currently successful. Everyone looks up to him. Fynn the financier? Yes, successful, if you count massive amounts of wealth as being a success. Me, well, I wouldn't call myself a failure, but I'm certainly not where I would be if I just went along with my superiors. What do you think? Is it best in our modern society just to go along? Is that the easiest course of action?